Hey, what's up YouTuber Tanker here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of Grand Peace Online. Of course, these are all just my opinion, but anyway, let's get right into the video. With the first pro, we have the good animations and models. So, if you've ever played Grand Peace Online, you are probably familiar with the models and animations. They are, in my opinion, some of the best models and animations on Roblox as a platform, and the people who make the models and do the animations are incredibly talented. And I'll put some clips on screen of some of the models and animations that I particularly like. For example, I'm a big fan of the Phoenix animation for the Phoenix fruit. But anyway, onto my second pro, we have the smooth M1 combat. So, although GPO has a lot of problems with its combat system in terms of like infinite combos, but I'll get into that later. The point I'm trying to highlight now is that the M1 combat in GPO is very, very smooth. So, when it comes to blocking and hitting, 90 to 100% of the time, when you block, you'll block the hit, because it's very, very well scripted in my opinion, and the way it works in practice is in my opinion impressive, and I enjoy it. I think it's one of the only One Piece games I've played where combat feels like when I block and when I hit it kind of matters, whereas in other games I would just spam moves and occasionally I'd win. But onto the third pro, there are multiple ways to get devil fruits. So typically in One Piece games you only really have, you either buy devil fruits with Pele, or you get them with a notifier, or you find them randomly. Now this for me always felt like it was kind of alienating a large portion of the player base who didn't want to do that. But in GPO, well, right now you can only ship farm, but in the future they're adding dungeons, seekings, all these different ways to get devil fruit, which I think is a great idea because it means that more people can have a chance at getting the fruit they want in the game. Now the fourth pro I'm going to talk about is the smooth sailing experience. So in my opinion, GPO has one of the best sailing and like naval and like boat systems of all the One Piece games I've played, because when I sail a boat in GPO, it feels very smooth. I can move the boat, I can sail in certain directions, it feels very clean, there's no lag, there's no glitches for me, which in my opinion is good. I played games in the past where sailing was kind of glitchy and laggy, and it wasn't very good. And next up we have good character customization. So in Grand Peace Online, you don't use your Roblox avatar model, you use your custom, like, you know, created one in the game. And the system they use, in my opinion, is really good. I think it allows for a lot of creativity while still not being too far from the source material of One Piece. So you can have, you know, different hairs, different outfits. I think it really it's really well done in my opinion. But next up we have the interesting map design. So in GPO you have well, I want to highlight two things specifically that I liked, and the first is the knock-up stream. So the way to get to Skypiea is to sail into the knock-up stream, and I've never seen a One Piece game do this in the past, so seeing GPO do it for me was really impressive. And also the Fisherman Maze. Now the Fisherman Maze is controversial because it's not anime accurate. In the anime they don't go for a maze, but in my opinion it was an interesting choice, very creative, and yeah, I enjoy the map design elements of the game. And the second thing I really want to highlight is interesting game mechanics. So climbing, carrying, gripping, I never realized how important they were in a game until I played GPO, because being able to climb and carry players that are not, or grip players, it adds a whole other element to the game that wasn't there in other One Piece games. Like in the games I played in the past, when you killed someone, they would just die. Once their health hit zero, they would just die, whereas in GPO they're knocked. Now when they're knocked, you can move them around, you can jail them, you can do all these things, and it really adds that kind of, it makes the fights last longer, in the sense that it doesn't just end there. There's more like, in my opinion, it keeps the fight going, keeps the gameplay fun and exciting. And climbing is also great because it means you're not kind of stuck if you haven't got Geppo, although Geppo is a huge benefit. But next up we have arena mode and ranked leaderboards. Now I think that ranked leaderboards and arena mode are great for the game. It creates like an endless stream of content. You can always like load up and play arena mode, as opposed to just playing the standard game. So yeah, that's a really good element I liked. I think they should have added it when the game first dropped, but the fact that they added it at all is for me really impressive. I haven't seen it for any One Piece game. You'll notice a lot of the benefits I list, a lot of the pros that I list, it's all about stuff that GPO did that other One Piece games never did, and this is, for me at least, it's fun because it creates a more unique experience. And next up we have the cool race specifics. So in terms of GPO, when you spawn in, you have the choice of 3 races, which is randomly decided. It's not a choice actually. It's the game decides for you. Either fishman, human, or mink. And each of these races have their own unique abilities and like cool things that make them unique. For example, mink have electro and a stamina boost. Fishermen have fisherman karate and a swimming boost. And also Skypians have Skypian flight or Skypian glide, which is in my opinion super cool. I like when they make distinctions between I like it when things in the game matter. So when you load in whether you're a fisherman or a human or a mink, it matters to your character. Next up we have the player to world interactions. So what I mean by this is, I mean like when you fire a move and it knocks down a tree, or when you use a move and it creates it raises rocks out of the ground. For me, that's it creates more immersion, which is in my opinion always a good thing. Now that we're done with the pros, onto the cons. So these are the things that I think GPO has done badly, or things that I don't like about GPO, or I think made the experience less enjoyable. So the first con we have is slow update times. GPO update times are incredibly slow. Furyu takes a very long time to update the game, and because of the way he does his sneak peeks, we never know whether he's just being lazy, or whether he has like this great idea that he's working on that we don't really know what's coming, because occasionally he'll say things like this is coming, then it's not coming, or this is happening, or this is not happening, and it can become really confusing. And also it's just like the content gets old, and that's a big issue at the moment. But that is mainly because the game is in its early stages, so there's not much to do anyway. But next up we have infinite combos and balancing issues. So it's not news to a lot of GPO players that there are infinite combos in the games. You can get infinite comboed, which basically means it takes one combo to kill you and you can't get out of it, which makes really boring PvP. And I heard they're patching this in the next update, which I'm looking forward to. Although in my opinion, I am a little bit pessimistic. I think they might not actually fix it, because it's just unfixable. But we'll see. And also balancing issues, because there are certain things that need to be balanced. Certain moves that are used that give someone a huge advantage over other people, and I can't get any specifics right now, but there are a few definitely in the game that need to be balanced a little bit better. Next up we have underdevelopment of fighting styles and overfocus on devil fruits. So what I mean by this is, a lot of the top PvP stuff revolves around devil fruit builds, right? So like the gravity build, gravity infinite combo build, a lot of Logia builds, Phoenix tank build. All these different things revolve around devil fruits. But the issue is, a large portion of the player base doesn't have a devil fruit or a Logia, so they end up getting fighting styles like one sword style and blackleg that haven't been changed in a long time. They haven't been focused on at all. That's why I'm very happy that adding Diable Jambe, and they're adding perhaps 2 sword styles soon, because those 2 things will make it so that fighting styles finally getting an upgrade. I feel like if you're gonna make devil fruit stronger, you need to make fighting styles stronger too. Next up we have really low drop rates on everything. So in GPO, everything has a low drop rate. Everything. Whether it's getting a Suke or whether it's getting Trident, it's always super low drop rates. And that creates for like a kind of non-rewarding boss fight system, because you can grind for hours and get nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no pity system, and you can grind for hours and get nothing. The next con I want to talk about is the underdeveloped trading system. So GPO, if you're unfamiliar, they had a huge scamming problem with trading. So in order to deal with this, they introduced Trade Island in Update 2. Now, they marketed this as the solution to trading in Grandpas Online. They said that do not trade until update 2. This will fix all scams, there will be no more scammers. And lo and behold, it didn't work. It failed. We have probably even more scammers than before. And how this happened, I do not know. But luckily, they are going to fix it. But at the moment, the trading system is so poorly done. It was, and the fact that it said it could be foolproof led to so many people getting scammed. I think it's just, they should have just gone with the adopt me trade system from the beginning. It was a bad decision and honestly affected the game a lot, I think. And the next thing is lack of content due to slow updates. So because the updates are so slow, there are periods of time when people in the game have every single boss drop, they beat every single boss, they've done every single quest, but they have nothing to do. Because there's no new content, there's no refreshing new content, and because of the slow update times, there's no content coming, right? Which affects it greatly. But the point is, what I'm trying to make, is that this affects the enjoyment of the game because there's nothing to do. You're just sat around waiting for the next update to happen, which of course affects, in my opinion, the experience. But next up we have boring boss fights. So, if you've ever done like boss fights in Grandpas Online, the majority of the boss fight is just spent infinite stun locking the boss into a corner. Well, now this is a pretty cool thing, right? This is that the community learned how to do this. However, it does show that the boss fights are designed in a boring way. Like there's no way to kill a boss without infinite stun locking them that's efficient. And I think a solution to this would be making it so that players cannot infinite stun lock a boss, and also making it so that the boss can be defeated by using a way that has already been planned out. So instead of just giving the players a boss and saying kill this boss, he's really powerful, how about give them a way to kill him? So say he does this move at this point, and then during this time he does no move, and this is when you attack him, and you go back and you block, and having a more thought out boss fight, or a more interesting boss fight, I think would be a lot better for the like the community and also for the game itself. But yeah, I think the boss fights are a bit boring. They're kind of, it's basically they focus too much on creating a strong boss and then not the boss fight. It's almost like they make the NPC, put it in a space and just say this is the entire boss fight. Well, no, what it should be is here's the boss, here's how we think, here's how you're supposed to beat it, and then people can do that method, right? Instead of just saying, here's a boss, infinite stun lock it again for the 100th time. And also I think if you're going to make boss fights harder and require more skill, then you should make the drop rates a lot higher. I think that would be a good solution to the drop rate problem as well. But next up we have that GPO is in need of a lot of quality of life updates. So for example, your inventory staying equipped when you respawn is a big one because players have to unequip and re-equip every single time they reset. And then there are some other bugs and glitches that I think also affect the quality of life. For example, the Skypean flight bug. But anyway, on to the next point, I have boosted players and exploits. So although boosted players in GPO and exploits are a lot rarer than in other games, for example, you will rarely see a hacker or an exploiter in GPO. They do still exist, and I do feel like it's an issue that needs to be addressed because there are players who will go in their private servers and just use scripts that allow them to fly around and get devil fruits when they spawn, or allow them to automatically teleport to where devil fruit spawns before anyone else can. And a lot of the time these exploiters go under the radar, no one realizes it's even happening. A lot of things happen, and because of the way it's set up, I do feel like sometimes developers do protect people who do exploit. Maybe not intentionally, but there are some groups in the game that obviously do exploit, and it's kind of like, in sometimes it feels like when the developers and the admins in the Discord server say things like there are no hackers or there are no exploiters, they're kind of trying to hide the truth that there are a lot of exploiters. Although I have to admit, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't too big of an issue because there's so few exploiters compared to the general player base that you'll rarely see them. So it's an issue that can be like very, very easily swept under the rug and kind of just ignored. The next up we have Katana Reskins. So in Campus Online, one of the most popular fighting styles is one sword style, and one sword style you have to have a katana to use it, and there are 3 katanas in the game. You have standard katana, you have sky blue katana, and you have Ryu's blade. Now each katana is different in the sense that it looks different. That's basically the only difference. Now I would have honestly preferred to see more unique differences, because I feel like having just reskins makes the grinding that's required to get the drop kind of unrewarding in a sense. I also think that one way you can make them more interesting would be to have them have different ultimates. For example, Sky Blue Katana's ultimate could be a huge gust of wind as opposed to Dragon Blaze, or Ryu's Blade's ultimate could be a water-based attack. It would look probably very similar to a Fishman Karate move with sharks or whatever. And yeah, I think that if you're gonna have different katanas, they should be different, and they should improve, or I guess make one sword style stronger, instead of just giving them +1 damage, which I think was kind of a letdown. And then finally, the final con I'm going to talk about is the bandit beta elements and the fact that GPO needs more unique quests. So GPO, a lot of the quests are just kill 5 of this enemy. Now there are some unique quests, even early on in the game there's the water bucket quest, there's the Skypian block quest, there's the what other quests are there? There's See, this is the problem. I can only think of 2 or 3, right? There should be a lot of quests that are different and unique. Maybe quests that are kill this and then bring the drop to this person to get this quest, and then do this quest, and then do this, and then do this. Instead of just kill this one NPC 5 times, it feels kind of lackluster. Maybe even add side quests. If you want to get this certain drop, you have to do this quest. You have to take this to this person, he'll give you the sword, or all these different things that will make the game feel more alive and make the quest system more enjoyable. And next up we have, that's pretty much it, to be honest. I shouldn't have said next up we have, because that is all I have in terms of pros and cons. So leave a comment down below what you think of this list. What cons do you think I missed? What pros do you think I should have included? What things do you like about GPO? What things do you not like about GPO? And yeah, make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.